What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro Duel video, H.A.T, I guess 2020, as you know, hand traps, artifacts and trap tricks, because Artifact Dagda, the link 2 for artifacts, it was confirmed in Duel Overload. So let's try it out, right? The build is quite similar to the one I used a couple of days ago. I made some changes though, due to some feedback, new cards as in... what is it called? Parallel H.A.T, I believe the card. It's level 8 that basically puts itself like another copy on the field, boosting up those rank 4 H.A.T plays. So this is Master Rule 5, Master Rule 2020, by the way. And of course, the small artifact engine. 4 seems like the sweet spot. Beagle tech might be questionable, but you know, there is definitely some use if you happen to open with something like Artifact Sight or Moral tech. Adding in the Ash Blossoms as well, dropped some cards, but I'm contemplating on adding in maybe a pot card, like maybe Desires, not really sure about that because of the main deck engine, right? Extravagance maybe, but again the extra deck feels so important. Instant Fusion has been going in and out, but I feel the card isn't really that fantastic for this deck going first, so that's why I dropped it. Same for Mind Control going second, and especially because you have access to Artifact Dagda, and you know, it's very easy to make. Those two cards could definitely be main decked. Same for the Utopia package, you know, like Utopia and Double or Nothing. If you want, definitely play that one in the main deck. But the deck feels very smooth. It's very fun to play with, and as I mentioned in the previous indeed in the previous video, the deck feels like Pelios in some way. Is that if you open with Sarah, and you know that's super easy for the deck, the deck feels like grindy, control-ish. But if you're giving your opponent, and with your opponent I mean the Trap Tricks player, if you're giving the deck like one extra turn, you might just lose from there. I mean, the deck is so... I mean, with Trap Tricks, it's so easy to grind up advantage, like searching those trap holes during both players' turns, special summon those Trap Tricks monsters from your deck for free, basically, as soon as you activate a trap card, which again feels quite disgusting. Anyway, the new level, well, rank 4 H.A.T, I dropped it to 1 just as fine. It might be needed to, let's say, put out an extra beat stick on the field to reborn something, you know, like activate Mermelio's effect, like pop something from your opponent, or use Diana's effect to get something back from the graveyard, so I definitely like that one. But going first, Rafflesia is your target to go to. Then again, and there's a difference between this video and in the previous video, is that there might be, well, depends on the matchup, that is, a better first turn play if you have like this option. And, you know, like previously without the Artifact Dagda, the standard play to go for Sarah and Rafflesia, the rank 4 H.A.T play, definitely solid. Rafflesia protecting your Sarah as well, and of course an extra interruption. But next to that, there is the potential Dagda play to, you know, go for the artifact route. That is, but that of course depends on the strength of artifacts against your opponent, you know, the power of artifact sights and or moral tech against a certain deck. But you know, like sight is powerful against basically every deck. Anyway, so prevent Thunders from putting up those extra deck monsters, or you know, continue of upgrading the, what's it called, you know, the level 5 fusion to go for Titan. But yeah. Oh, yeah, speaking of the new one, the Jealousy, I believe the name is, it's currently a one-off, because again, I'm not running Desires, and I was playing it at 2 in the previous build because of Desires, but I'm not really sure if I still want to keep that card in the main deck. It's also one of the new Trap Tricks monsters from Duel Overload, and I feel that Mantis might be a better option. You know, Mantis is the level 4 Stratos of the deck that only triggers upon normal summon, but I feel that's just a bit better, but that's again my feeling. One of the new cards, I believe, should be new in the upcoming TCG set. I definitely like it a lot. Main decking 2 or 3. It has been going in and out, but I kind of prefer 3, I guess. Just, you know, flexible of opening it. I definitely want to open it, and yeah, with Sarah, I mean, it's basically a free rank 4 H.A.T play or a Dagda play if you want. But anyway, so Sarah, Mermelio, I mean, this is perfect. Top deck the Diana. I'm not really sure if I have a trap card set to, you know, to just derp everything to the field. Put a Traptrix monster in the graveyard so I can use the H.A.T, reborn something, get more, get Gravehole back. But yeah, that's one of the changes I've made compared to my previous build, is that I dropped some trap holes or hole cards from my main deck. Only one Gravehole, and I believe the best one is the Book of Moon one. And of course, I believe on Time Space Hole as well. The Floodgate Trap Hole, right? That's definitely the best one. Put, what's it called? The Buffalo face down. And going for Compulse, I guess it's fine. Very flexible again. Just keep it for your own turn. Bounce back any Traptrix monster. And that at the same time triggers your powerful card being Sarah. Special summon something from the deck with the bounce back monster. And at the same time, search a trap card. Because again, that special summon monster will use the effect, the Traptrix monster, that is. So this should be my duel, just in full control of the game. With Sarah on the field, you might feel that you're not running enough monsters, but if you can keep her on the field, it's very easy to, you know, keep your opponent under the Floodgate trap hole lock and get stuff back from the graveyard, right? And then, you know, eventually Mantis will come into play. Keep bouncing back your own back rows so they won't be banished during, you know, they won't banish themselves because of Dianea's effect. Dagda hits the field, Dianea hits the field as well, and this should be game. Oh yeah, and speaking of, there might be some duels where I think I had the option for Borrelsword to go for a game, but those probably might have been duels where I wasn't running Borrelsword. That's the explanation. I was also running Instant Fusion and main deck needed spots, but again, Borrelsword is definitely a staple. Anyway, last example, Thunders, and going second, that's not that great. I eventually opted to drop the Mirror Forces from the main deck as well, so no, I believe it was the Sandstorm, the Root Mirror Force for the Trap Trick target, but not really sure. That might be like a sweet tech in the main deck, and I'm talking about one of the Mirror Forces. So normal summon Mermelu, try to get a search, you know, Appaloosa will drop itself, and going for Sarah since I have Compulse, and Compulse will just get rid of Appaloosa. But both Titan are definitely a problem since, again, they can't really be destroyed by card effects, and, you know, the artifact engine could help with that. So Compulse gets rid of the Appaloosa. Search Dianea, I guess. I don't think I was able to get something back, not really sure about that. But again, his field is just a huge issue. And oh yeah, a change I've made compared to my previous video is that I had added in Last Wind over Impermanence. But both cards have their advantages. I mean, the huge disadvantage is that Last Wind doesn't negate effects of normal summoned monsters, while Impermanence does. And you know, Impermanence is of course very flexible. But Last Wind just feels that it gives you the extra plus by the graveyard effect. So for now, I feel that I prefer yeah, Last Wind over Impermanence. But again, I mean, feel free to put in Impermanence over Last Wind if you want. I don't think I had the option to put out a fourth monster on my field to go for Borrelsword. Again, I mean, Titan is in attack position, so I can definitely capitalize on that by, you know, the double attack of Borrelsword, and Last Wind would just shut down the third Titan, that is. But I don't think I had the option to put up a fourth monster, so now it's like I keep, well, like, following, I guess. There isn't really something I can do. Ignition is cool, not really sure if I want to keep main deck Ignition. It's okay, I guess, with Dagda. So yeah, I might just keep it in main deck. It's a card that you might want to side deck out still, depending on the matchup. But this is game. The Thunder Dragon as well. Yeah, I probably should have gone for, what is it called, Red one, Beagle Tech. But yeah, it's fine, I guess. This is the last example indeed. Heroes going first, and this is good. Beagle Tech for sight immediately because of the potential, you know, like Fusion card, Destiny Fusion I believe the name is. And then Beagle Tech is definitely too late to put up sight. Same for sight, won't trigger before the Fusion is summoned. So yeah, definitely go for Beagle Tech, shut down my opponent from the extra deck summons, and Last Wind comes in clutch, prevent the opponent from searching Mass Change, and this should be my duel. Like, a deck like Heroes is super focused on those extra deck plays, and cards like Raigeki Darkhole aren't really being main decked anymore. Going for the early plays, just making sure that Sarah and Dianea go through, I guess. Well, the back row might have been a strike or whatever. So yeah. play this would just force that one out, and making sure that this is, again, should be more than enough to attack for game. So this is a super fun deck, definitely a very fun deck to play with H.A.Ts, hand traps, artifacts, trap tricks, using the new parallel H.A.T as well, a couple of like artifacts, a small artifact main deck engine, and of course the derp shenanigans, the ability that Sarah has it feels quite ridiculous. I like the PK trap card, it's huge for this deck, definitely keep that card at 3 here in the main deck. Triple Solemn Judgment might be needed because of evenly matched, or you know, like the Lightning Storm, definitely needed. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.